Okay, super excited. I live in Southern California, really close to Disneyland, so I don't ever stay at the Disneyland hotels or really any of the hotels down here. But today, we're checking in and we're spending the night at the Disneyland Hotel. So come join me for this moose and adventure as we explore all that the Disneyland Hotel has to offer.
I'll be like, park in the back.
I don't go on a joyride.
Do you like this one?
I really like the outside seating area, and it's not hot at all today. It's like the perfect temperature. I would totally hang out and wait here. Granted, I'm not going to, but I could. Mickey and Minnie are welcoming us. Do that.
Probably not.
Probably not. We made it.
I like the tennis.
So we got the standard room. This is the end of the hall, which I can't complain with. Our view is just kind of in the parking lot, but it's got a lot of foliage. And really, how much time are you gonna spend in your room anyway that it's gonna be light and you're gonna care? Not much in my opinion. Okay, totally approve. This room rocks. Look at the fireworks in the castle. This is so cute. This is like seriously amazing. And I love that picture. It's, oh, glary. While walking through the castle. Okay, but legit dreams, life goals. I want this in my room. That is so cool. Get a little bit closer up. Can't wait to see that at night. Okay, there are so many things that I love about this bathroom. Look at these cute lights. And it's got the Mickey's gloved hands. The little soap says Disney on it. And look how cute the faucets are. My goodness, this is absolutely adorable. If you ever get a chance to go to the Disneyland Hotel, oh my gosh, 100 out of 10 recommend. Look, even the showers have it. Is this hallway actually stretching? Look at how cool. Even the carpet is cool. Kind of reminds me of It's a Small World. That's probably supposed to. Look at all the wall sconces. Hey, my favorite thing about the room. Okay, I just love everything about the room. But that's actually just a standard room that is not upgraded. It's not like their quote unquote fanciest. And I think it's so cute. So we checked in just in time for the Polynesian dancers and their outside Trader Sam's. So that's where I'm headed now. I'm gonna go do a little Polynesian dancing, and then I'm gonna go hang out by the pool. We were deciding which one to book, the Disneyland Hotel or the Grand Californian. We went with the Disneyland Hotel because we really wanted to go down the side. I've heard the Polynesian dancing is down here by Trader Sam's. Let's see if we can find it. Looks like we found it. Swimming was super fun. The slides were surprisingly fast-ish. and there were adults doing them, kids doing, didn't matter the age. It was just fun. The pool felt really cold at first, and then it warmed up really fast. Granted, we went kind of late in the day. It was after 5, so during the middle of the afternoon, I'm sure it's really hot. And there were plenty of chairs when we were there, but again, if you went there during the middle of the day, it's probably hard to find a seating. So I would guess you got to be there really early or rent a cabana because there are cabanas to rent. In addition to the 3 water slides and the 2 big main pools, there was also that area that you could kind of splash in that had like the waterfall, and there were 2 ginormous hot tubs. The thing that I liked best about the hot tubs, which these grounds are really big and really fun to walk around, and you don't have to be a Disney guest to walk around them. We are staying in the main tower, but there's 2 other towers as well, and they're just getting really close to completing the DVC, the Disney Vacation Club hotel, which is also going to be right here. I think one of the coolest things about staying on park at the Disneyland Resort is that unlike Walt Disney World, where to get back to your hotel and swim in the middle of the day, you have to take a shuttle or the Skyway, and it might take a lot longer than you anticipate that's going to take. This is literally you walk right outside the hotel and you are right in front of the hotel, and you're a 5 minute walk to the monorail, 10-minute walk to the Disneyland main entrance, so you're not dependent upon other transportation to get you to and from there. So you could take as much or as little time during the day as you wanted to, come back here, rest, relax. Forgot to mention that the poolside has dining. There are lots of servers there that are ready to assist you, take your order, bring you drinks, bring you food. It's so convenient and such a relaxing way to spend an afternoon, to be able to go back to the parks refreshed and ready to finish out the night strong.
The inside's what's good. Oh, yeah. It's still crazy paying $300.
Okay, came back to the hotel room, got dressed, grabbed our stuff, and now we're ready to hit the park for tonight. We have a park ticket, but if you don't have a park ticket, no worries. There's plenty to do in downtown Disney. It hasn't started yet, but they have bands and performances that start and run all night long. I believe on the hour. That you can check the app for more information. There's also just tons of shops and eating and food. So if you decide you want to explore and get off the grounds of the Disneyland Hotel, you're right here again. This is unlike Disney Springs in Walt Disney World, because there's literally everything's all in one property. You don't have to travel anywhere else. You can stay right where you are. You don't need a bus. You don't need an Uber. You don't need anything. It's just all right here in downtown Disney, which is connected to the Grand Californian and the Disneyland Hotel, and is like a short hop, skip, and a jump across the street from the Disneyland Hotel. There's even a bowling alley. They're renovating it in the middle right now, which makes it a little harder to walk through, but not a big deal. You don't have to necessarily buy your souvenirs when you first get in that first night of the Disneyland Hotel, but I definitely recommend at least walking through the store and having an idea of what kind of things they might have. If you see something that's your absolute must-have, get it, because they tend to sell out of stuff. And there have been times that I didn't get it and went back to get it, and I was like, I missed it. But your first night in there is a great time to go check out the souvenirs at the World of Disney. Maybe the advantage to doing your souvenir shopping before you actually go to the park is that you don't have to carry it around the park. Granted, you can, in fact, check them in at some of the stores, but it's just easier to do this way. And this way, if you choose something that you want to wear, you can totally wear it the next day in the parks. There's so much to see here. The biggest reason of all those to go and do your souvenir shopping before you actually go to the park, or maybe even the day after you've gone to all the parks, is that you don't feel rushed. You can take your time. You can look at everything that they have in the entire store and really choose what you want, instead of feeling rushed, like you're going to miss an attraction, or doing it at the end of the night, because the stores on Main Street are in fact open an hour after the park closes. But when you're tired and you've been in the park all day, you sometimes don't feel like adding on that extra time the other night. So that way you can take your time. And most of the merch, or a lot of the merch that they have in different places around the park, are in fact all located inside the world of Disney. And you can walk back and forth and compare the items and really take your time to get what you really want instead of just picking something because you want to buy a souvenir, but you're kind of in a rush because you're in between rides or your time. I even begin to tell you how nice it is to not have to drive home tonight and to be staying super, super close. I'm actually a little bit curious to know if it's like 12 now, and it's kind of curious to know what's open down here. The World of Disney for souvenirs is still open. I wanted to see if there was any food, because there wasn't a lot left to be food inside the park. It's like Nicolini Pizzeria is still cleaning up. So I'm curious to know.
All I'm saying is I
Totally
want to try it.
open because they're not tomorrow.
Who wants to try tomorrow? Let's try tomorrow.
So far,
Looks like lots of pretzels.
oh yeah,
Although we're going to
looks like Wetzel's Pretzels is still open. Maybe there's people in there, and their doors open. So if you're hungry on your way out of the park, either staying at the hotel or just going home and wanting something to eat, Wetzel's Pretzels is in fact still open.
It look like there's any guests
Actually,
in there?
maybe it's not open because they've got all their trash in there. But I thought it looked open. I thought there were guests in there. But maybe not. Backpack is not open anymore. Curious to see if I could see what time stuff is open. Kind of don't think that there's any food open at all. And I'm not sure what's open at the hotel, if anything. So when we get back there, I'll have to check that out. But for the most part, everything in downtown Disney, for how bustling and alive it was earlier, not a whole lot going on at this time of night. They did in fact have the gate locked as you walk in, and you did have to have your hotel card with you. So if you're staying here and you go to the park, so you know you're going to be back late, make sure that somebody in your party has the key. Don't rely on maybe that you left somebody in the room and so you'll be able to get back in at night, because that's not the case. You do in fact have to have your key card to get through the gate to come to your room. If you go to the parks or downtown Disney at night, make sure that somebody that you're with has the key, and if you know you're going to come back after the park closes or whatever, because they do have a gate out there and it is locked. So you can't rely on whoever you left in the room or whatever to just open the door and get back, because you won't be able to make it back onto the resort property. So nice at night. Yeah, I'm doubting this is every single room, and I'm sure there's blackout curtains, but we're like right where the light is, which is sort of funny. This room is really nice. It's got 2 queen beds. It's got a couch. I think the couch pulls out, right? Because it's some kind of a sleeper couch.
Maybe.
This is a really nice room. This morning I am a party one. My one son was like, yeah, I know I'm not getting enough. Then my other son though last night was like, oh, I'm totally gonna be there. Part of staying at the hotel is the early entry. I wanna, see what the hype is about. Sure enough, this morning when I woke him up, he was like, well, we did a lot last night, and a lot of stuff we did last night was the stuff we would have done this morning. So I'm out, I'm gonna sleep in. So he is still in bed. So I am party one this morning, but I want to see, how great this early entry really is. Because I know that's part of the allure of staying on a Disneyland property as opposed to one of the neighboring hotels. Because if you're not staying on property, you can't take advantage of the early entry. I got up a little bit later than I intended, because I thought, oh, I'll totally wake up early. I wake up like I always do. Nope. That room was awesome, and I slept really well. I still slept like a baby, but I just don't tend to sleep very well. I did. But really quick walk over to the park. Monorail is being renovated, so you can't utilize that. But almost to the park, we're going for this early entry. I believe that the only parks or the lands that are open are Tomorrowland and Fantasyland. I'm gonna hit Tomorrowland first. Um, Probably going Buzz Lightyear, and then I'm gonna head in Fantasyland and do like Peter Pan, Alice in Wonderland. Might swap that around. I might do that before Buzz Lightyear because Buzz Lightyear tends to stay really short. I don't know, probably the first 1 or 2 hours in the park. So that's where I'm headed. Good morning. It's a good sign. Lines are not long, even though there are a lot of people coming off of the trams and coming to the hotel. That was crazy, crazy easy. There were no lines because they have so many entrances open. Like, they know there's gonna be a lot of people coming in. They don't have to wait getting in. That was a breeze. I believe it is 7:30 right now, so we're gonna be able to cruise right in using our card. Coming in the morning, especially this early, I don't know if I've ever went this early. I have, but it's been for like Rise of the Resistance and things like that. But it's kind of interesting, kind of fun to be in the park when literally everybody is only going one way. Everybody's headed down Main Street. Even at night when you're leaving the park, you'll have people like coming up and down the street looking for members of their party or going in and out of shops. Not today. Everybody's laser focused on getting in that hub and getting the greatest spot they can possibly get for a rope drop. And that, my friends, is the line to Starbucks. Buzz Lightyear does not have one single solitary person in line. Looks like everybody's kind of making a beeline for Space Mountain. So I'm going to make a brief stop at Buzz Lightyear. Why not? I like not waiting in line. Good morning! Morning, thank you. That was fun. Get like the royal welcome. So Buzz Lightyear it is. So people kind of divided. People are in fact going to Star Tours. I'm gonna try Buzz Lightyear first. Just because you can. Getting through the gates, you have to show your card and they scan it just to really check that you really are staying at the hotel. But that was easy, really fast.
More trouble in Stone Mountain. No doubt it's the ruin of the nefarious crew, the sworn enemy of the Galactic Alliance, the evil Emperor Zurg.
My job is Space Rangers.
Hey everybody, Captain Double. Destroy Zerg's secret weapon.
Drop there! Why should we ruin your planet, partner?
You've got Zerg on the run. Blast him with everything you've got.
That was super fun. Not only was it not crowded, but since I was a part of one, I literally walked around the ride. I didn't stop at all. And if I'd had to stop, it would have been to wait for the one car that was departing. That was so cool. We're still at 10 minutes before all the other guests are let into the park. So I'm gonna go try to hit Alice in Wonderland and Peter Pan before everybody arrives in the park. Astro Orbit is also going, but that sometimes makes me sick, so I'm not going to go on that one either. Oh my gosh! Forget the ride. They actually have their photo pass people out here. I'm going to take advantage of nobody in front of the castle, and I'm going to get my picture taken. That was so much fun. I'm so glad I stopped. My photographer, the photo pass person, was so awesome. And I never do stuff like that by myself, but it's kind of fun to document the morning. that was well worth the stop. Peter Pan's looking a tiny bit long already. I'm gonna jet around the corner. It's already saying 20 minutes. That's even with early entry. I'm gonna jet around the corner and see what Alice in Wonderland's looking like. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride is walk on. Down goes walk right on. This is kind of fun. So obviously, based on lines right now, the only one that everybody ran to was Peter Pan. So I'd probably recommend not going to Peter Pan with your early entry and instead hitting every other ride that you can run to. Not run, don't run it far. But that will maximize your time more because you're better off getting a whole bunch of rides out of the way. Yeah, Alice in Wonderland is super short. It's going to be under 10 minutes. So yeah, do not rope drop Peter Pan. Now, once all the guests go in the park, you might want to try it. But don't waste your early entry. Hit everything else that's a walk on. Don't spend your early entry doing that.
Since this is the thought we dread, we're painting the roses red. Don't tell the queen what you have seen or say that's what we said. But we're painting the roses red, not pink.
Imperial Highness, the Queen of Life, and the King. Shall we play croquet? Rule 42, the Queen always wins.
Right before I got on the ride, right before I got on the Caterpillar for Alice in Wonderland, right before I climbed on the Caterpillar, they made the announcement that Disneyland Park is now open. The line for Alice in Wonderland is slightly longer, but not really. It's still a great rope drop. Skipping the line of Peter Pan was definitely the right decision. Alice in Wonderland is quite a bit longer now. By quite a bit, it's probably a 10-minute wait now, where it's like literally waiting maybe 5. That might take Dumbo's now 5. Mr. Toad is still walk on. Peter Pan got a little bit longer, but not by much. But in my opinion, I would never ever waste a rope drop on a ride that has a line more than 5 or 10 minutes. Because later on in the day, all of these other rides that are now a walk-on or over, under 10 minutes are going to be 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So I'd much rather wait in one longer line like Peter Pan later on in the day and just crank out a ton of rides while they're walk-on or super, super short. So I'm going to head over and do Big Thunder Mountain. With the early entry, we ended up doing Space Mountain, Buzz Lightyear. Took a deserted picture at the castle, deserted because there was nobody out there. I don't think I've ever, I have occasionally, but really to have it early in the morning and have nobody at the castle, only regret is that I didn't put on my ears this morning because my hair was wet, but that's okay. Then we went in Alice in Wonderland. Now we're headed to Big Thunder. Another ride that I would never, ever, ever rope drop is Rise of the Resistance for 2 reasons. The first one is that that's where a lot of people rush to. So that line's only one like Japan, where that line starts out with a long line. The second reason is for what just happened as I walked by. A cast member was announcing that Rise of the Resistance is closed. So if you had made a beeline, Rise of the Resistance is closed, which incidentally seems like it's closed a lot at Rope Drop when the park just opens. Well, now you've just potentially wasted a rope drop because you bypassed a lot of lines along the way that you could have stopped at and taken advantage of short lines. So my rule is never ever, don't ever rope drop Rise of the Resistance. I am not going to stop this morning because we actually got reservations for Google's Kitchen, so I want to stay map tight. But yeah, it's also an excellent time to get the breakfast chimichanga. It's right here outside of the Thunder Mountain, and it sells out. So if nothing else, always be flexible when you're doing their rope drop. So I'm walking by Big Thunder. I'm surprised because the line is actually coming out. It's still so crowded. I think it's a really short line that I would guess, that it's probably 10 or 15 minutes. Oh, my girl's out in front of your golden horseshoe. That's cool. But since I think it's probably closer to 15 minutes, I'm going to head over to Haunted Mansion and Parts of the Caribbean.
I humbly accept this magnificent treasure as
This is a ride that I might normally wait and go on later on in the day because when it's like, I don't know, maybe a 15 or 20 minute wait. The only reason I would do that is that it's still really cold this morning and this is one of my absolute favorite rides when it's hot during the day because it's a longer ride. It feels so nice and cool during the hot time. I momentarily forgot about Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones was saying 15-minute wait. And I know that when it says 15-minute wait, usually a lot of that is just getting through the queue. And so I fully anticipate being able to walk pretty much basically right on. So I'm actually going to change my plans slightly. I'm going to go to Indiana Jones. I might actually take a second round whatever I'm going to do. They're putting on the final touches, it looks like. The treehouse, I don't think I've ever seen them actually really super work on this when guests were here. That's kind of weird. Alright, staying true to my philosophy, when I got there, it wound around a lot. What did you think about the ride? So I'm going to skip that one for now, go on Jungle Cruise, and then check it when I get back off. Keep it shorter. Indiana Jones is a ride that tends to fluctuate in the morning because of the real rush that it's in. Oh, wait, the wait times, and then they'll pump the wait times up a little bit. People will change their mind, going somewhere else, which brings that wait time back down again. That lets times that wait time calendar out in front doesn't catch up to like the wait times are. So like I'm looking at that line coming out the gate. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna. If that's one of your most ride or dies, something about it now. 20 minutes is pretty damn short, but I'm gonna skip it. I had momentarily forgotten. Haunted Mansion is down. This is the first day of the rehab. So the refurb, they're transitioning to Haunted Mansion Holiday. So instead of heading down that way, I could go on Big Thunder, but I did that last night. So instead, I think I'm going to head down and get a Roger Rabbit cartoon spin, which is only 5 minutes. That's one that is notoriously 50 to 60 minutes long later in the day. And maybe Runaway Railroad that's only 10 minutes. Definitely doing Roger Rabbit spin first because Mickey's Runaway Railroad accommodates a lot of people. And it typically doesn't get longer than 20 or 30 minutes. So if you see it at longer than 20 or 30 minutes, don't wait for it. Come back later. But that's where we're heading now. I keep saying we. So used to going to Disneyland with other people, and today I'm just a valuable one. Fantasyland is definitely starting to feel a little bit more. Peter Pan's now saying 30 minutes, not significantly longer. No, it's 10. The Citroen's Wild Ride is still a walk-on. I'm going to take advantage of that. I think I'm getting on the Citroen's Wild Ride. Somebody commented that one of the smallest Mickeys, by the way, I totally appreciate comments. So keep them coming on it because that's how I learn stuff too. Because there's stuff, I know a lot, but there's still some things that I don't know. That so somebody commented that the smallest hidden Mickey or one of the smaller hidden Mickeys was actually on Mr. Toad Wild Ride and the statue was coming in. So I might have gone that wrong, so if I did, let me know. But I went there and took a picture of it today. I'm gonna put it right here. You guys tell me what you think. I don't see it. So I get that the shape is there and that it is in the shape of Mickey, but they're not perfectly round. And usually the hidden Mickeys are perfectly round. So I'm going to put the picture here of Mr. Toad's eyes. Tell me what you think. Is it a hidden Mickey or not? You're playing one of my favorite songs. Love being here. Look at that. Like the sun is like coming up over Toontown. Oh, it's such a great morning. I just got a text from my son that was going to come with me this morning. He's up now, and he's going to be, probably after we get to the stuff in Toontown, going to Roger Rabbit. Love it. Outside where the sun is bright, it is so dark in here.
Holy smokes, Roger! We got there! This morning, that big boy,
Sun is fully up now and shining so bright. Now would be a good time to go to the pool. Okay, it's a little bit cool. Man, Roger Rabbit's Toon Spin is so much fun. There is so much to see in that ride. It would be so easy to miss. Going into Disneyland Resort Hotel right now. He's run away that way. I gotta practice that. I'll say that 5 times fast, but you can. If you can't, let me know in the comments. Okay. Say in 10 minutes. The line is out here that I'm going to bet it is 10 minutes, but I shall see. Roger Rabbit is such a young ride. There is so much to see and take in. Every single time I know something different. Same with the Disneyland Railway. It's now saying that the line is still 10 minutes. It's coming out to the front, but I'm willing to bet it really is 10 minutes. And I'm excited about this because again, it's not one every single time we go is a different experience. I'm a little bit wishing I had my hat, but that's okay. We don't have a super long day in the park today. I have a kid that has to get back for a college class. This is such a last minute trip that it's been so lovely and so much fun. Heading out of Toontown now. It is, holy cow, it's only 9:30. It seems like we've been here forever, but I guess we have been here for 2 hours. It is now to the point of day where it's time to start thinking about going on a Peter Pan or an Indiana Jones because Peter Pan is still at 30 minutes. Indiana Jones is actually off the table right now because it's down, it's temporarily closed. I think I'm going to head over to Peter Pan before it gets any longer. 30 minutes is sort of long. I don't have long today, which I think is why I'm going to do Peter Pan. But there's other ways I can still take advantage of incidentally, Alice Wonderland is now 25, so definitely called that one right. The other school of thought is still that I could do Snow White and Dumbo, Pinocchio, while they're still relatively short. Dumbo is saying 15 minutes. We're really surprised if Snow White and Pinocchio are not around 10. But I think I'm going to do Peter Pan. I haven't done that in a long time, and it's only 30 minutes.
Come on, everybody, here we go! By you now! Blast you, Peter Pan! Take that! Coming, gentlemen!
That was super fun. If I had more time, I'd now be headed to Snow White, Pinocchio, Finding Nemo, Submarine Adventure. I'm really glad that I did Peter Pan when I did because that line is kind of warm and it's in the sun. And it was still only 30 minutes. Later on in the day, it's gonna get longer because Peter Pan always gets longer. And the lines are still okay. Matterhorn is like 40 minutes now. Indiana Jones is still down. Big Thunder, I want to say, is like at 30 minutes. So if that had been a priority, I should have done it at 15, but it wasn't today because I did it last night. But anyways, headed out now to go check out of the room. It is 10:30. We did 7 rides and we still this way. I did 7 rides, got a photo shoot in front of the castle with nobody in the background. Did not anticipate that. That might have been one of my favorite things I've ever done. And the photo pass photographer was amazing. Yeah, that might have been my highlight of the morning. Now I'm headed back to check out. One of the cool things with Disney resorts, I have a short day today. Because like I said, I have to head back home to the child back to school class. But even though we're checking out at the resort, you can still use all of the amenities until 10 o'clock at night. So you can go swimming, you can, take advantage of a lot of the activities that they have, which I didn't know about all the activities that they had. And we booked this really last minute. Next time we do this, I'm going to kind of plan out and see how it works with reserving some of them. They have like an animation cell class where you go, they teach you how to draw something and it turns into an animation cell. They have a splash party, which next time I'm going to have to look it up because it only runs, I believe it was Monday through Saturday. They didn't have it yesterday and they don't have it, no, Tuesday through Saturday. They didn't have it Sunday or Monday when we got here. I didn't know that because I think Splash Pad Party would be a blast. But it was a lovely stay. Can't wait to do it again. Incidentally, we did end up getting reservations for Goofy's Kitchen. So I'll show you that because we're going to head to that now. But we did not have reservations for any dining before we got here. Like I said, this was literally a trip that we planned Thursday night or Friday night, so last minute. So of course everything's booked up. But when we were in the park last night, my son was looking up reservations and one just happened to pop up. And this was a reservation for 5 people. So just because you don't have dining reservations doesn't mean you won't be able to get them. Because we did.
Go Chad, go Chad, go Dad, go Dad.
The omelets they make in a day, because they have an omelet bar, and the guy said like 120. That's so many omelets. They are so delicious. That was such a fun trip. I would totally do that again. I mean, really, I guess who wouldn't, right? Kiwi's Kitchen was absolutely tremendous. The character meet and greet, they're not meet and greets, but the character experiences that we had, I didn't even capture them all on film because it's one of those things that they're like happening and you're like, oh, I didn't have the camera out, but they're all like stored in my heart. But it was just, it was magical. It was so much fun. The food was delicious. I was, sorry Disney, kind of expecting it to be mediocre because really the emphasis is on this just a fun meet and greet. The food was amazing. I am so full. Like I ate past the point of being full. It's not a great feeling, but at the time the food was amazing. I got some pictures of it. Didn't get all of that again because I was just enjoying the moment. That man, it's been such a fun trip. I also learned that some of those things that were on the cart of activities, they are spread out across like the week. So depending on when you're here, that might not even be offered or available. But so there's probably a way to look that up in advance. So if there's something that like you're really like, I really want to do, look that up before you come because you might end up getting here and it's not on the day that you're here. But anyways, we've had fun. We got there early morning like we wanted. We went to the pool. We luckily got to, I'm crossing my fingers. It already happened. It doesn't matter. We got to go see the slides on the last day before the renovation. when they come back. I'm sure they're going to even be more phenomenal. The Disney Vacation Club looks like it's almost nearing completion, and that's going to be fun and more options. Thanks for joining me as we stayed at the Disneyland Hotel and explored a little bit of what it had to offer, but I know there's way more. If you ever get the chance to go here, take it. It was well worth coming. It was a once in a lifetime kind of experience. It was really that good. Anyways, thanks for joining me, and I'll see ya real soon.